This is Duke University.
The Lincoln Center Global is the international arm of the world's largest performing arts center, Lincoln Center in New York. I've worked at Lincoln Center for 7 years and just recently had the opportunity to extend Lincoln Center's imprint and knowledge, sharing our expertise with government leaders, corporate CEOs, and philanthropists around the world who are embarking on ambitious cultural development projects, new opera houses, new theaters, new cultural districts, new concert halls around the world. We come in and share with them the experience that we've accumulated in 50 years of operating Lincoln Center. So I actually never contemplated going into the business side of arts. When I stopped being a professional performer and realized that I was not going to be a ballet dancer, I went as far away from the arts as I possibly could. And when I entered Duke, I thought I'm going to continue dancing on the side. I'm going to stay in shape. I'm going to perform for fun, but I'm going to be a doctor. And I started taking all of those pre-med science classes, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and signed up for a class really on a whim that I found in the course catalog just to balance out all of those labs. And it was called Broadway Production, and it was taught by Emanuel Eisenberg, who was a legendary Broadway producer who taught here for, I think, 20 years. And he would fly down once a week to expose us to the great playwrights and works of the theater of our time. And every week we would read 3 or 4 scripts, and then we would respond to them in class and discuss them. And it was really that class that made me realize that I didn't need to be the artist, that there were other ways that I could impact culture, impact the arts, and really decided at that moment that instead of being a doctor, I was going to be a Broadway producer. So once I decided that I wasn't going to medical school, I took advantage of every opportunity that Duke offered to get involved in the business side of the arts. So I did pursue a few internships working backstage on Broadway shows for Manny Eisenberg and his production company. But I also went abroad in New York. So Duke had a program at the time called Leadership, Philanthropy, and the Arts that was run out of the Public Policy Department, and I spent a semester in New York meeting the nonprofit executives and the directors and the fundraisers and everyone who's behind the scenes making the arts engine of New York what it is, and seeing every opera in the Met season, which was my first exposure to opera. I also spent a summer in London with an English professor studying the theater of the West End and Shakespeare, and really it was through these experiences with these professors and with my peers who were much more steeped in the theater than I was that I began my journey towards becoming a theater producer on and off Broadway. By building strong relationships and by just immersing yourself in that world, the creative world, no matter where geographically you choose to be, that you can navigate your way towards something important and meaningful. But it's very much about being comfortable with ambiguity, being comfortable with twists and turns and the unexpected.